Daniel Gunderson here, KFGO.com, talking with men's basketball coach Saul Phillips. And Saul, let's talk about that last week. A couple of games, one really tough one in Oral Roberts, you couldn't win it out, and then the one against Southern Utah, you guys found a way to get a victory. Just talk about those two games.
You know, I think the biggest lead we had all weekend was 4 points in both games, so to come out with a split was good. The Oral Roberts game, we played really well offensively and obviously shot the lights out, so did they. And I really don't want to head that direction with this team. We've been excellent defensively. We've got to tighten up a little bit. The next night against Southern Utah, lower scoring game, probably more our style in terms of defensively. Really battled through a lot of things that didn't go our way and found a way to win. Taylor Braun was phenomenal. Marshall Bjorklund in the first half was phenomenal. And we just kind of scrapped and found a way to get it done.
Let's talk about those struggles you guys had on the road, namely turnovers. How do you correct those mistakes that you guys make on the road?
Well, it's the same as at home. You know, pass and catch just keep getting better. And we're a young team. We're a work in progress. We'll continue to be a work in progress. But if you can find ways to win those games, people forget. The year we won the championship, we went down to UMKC and won an overtime game with them that could have gone a lot of different ways. Probably much uglier than Southern Utah one. I'll call it a conference win, and we'll work to get better just like we have all year.
Now, you guys got a chance to see Dominique Morrison and just the outstanding ability he has. How would you relate his game to maybe Taylor Braun's game? It seems like those two have a really similar style of play on the offensive side.
You know, Dominique is so cool and collected down the stretch and just made some huge plays for him. And you saw some of that in Taylor at Southern Utah. I like the fact that I'm going to have Taylor for a couple of years after Dominique's gone, but if that's the company that he's finding himself in, that's really good for Taylor. And I would say that, yeah, I mean, he's making a statement that he's an elite player in this league as far as Taylor goes. He does a lot of different things for us. His numbers are just eye-popping right now, and more than that, he's really assumed a leadership role on this team.
And he spoke to that as much, saying that he's feeling the confidence coming down the stretch about taking the ball. How nice is that to have someone emerge as a go-to player down the stretch for such a young team while they're still trying to find their identity a little bit?
That's a lot of potential game winners in his future, and that's a good thing for everybody. You know, you have to have a certain comfort level. You have to have a certain confidence about you to be the guy in that spot. And I know one thing, he represents this team personality-wise probably better than anyone, and there's nothing bashful about Taylor, and he'll keep getting his chances.
Let's talk about the upcoming week's games against UMKC and USD, and what do you know about these two teams coming in here?
Well, you know, UMKC has been up and down a little bit, and they're in a little bit of a funk right now, but they'll be getting Trinity Hall back, one of their better players, and I would expect an angry team coming in here, and I would expect them. We've had some great battles with them. Both games last year came down to the buzzer. And then you go to USD. Heck, we start our North Central Conference swing. We got USD, UND, SDSU. Certainly some familiarity to our fans, and some good rivalries to play into. It's a really fun part of the schedule. You know, you got 3 conference home games in a row, and it would be a chance to really take a step forward in the league standings and maybe cause some separation from some of the other teams.
Yeah, and going into that, I mean, Taylor and Lawrence both said, you know, these are winnable games, but we can't overlook these two teams coming in, UMKC and USD. How much are you stressing that to your team in order for them to separate themselves from kind of the bottom half of this conference?
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned the word overlook. It's real easy to get their attention back when we mentioned how our exhibition season went. You know, we're not a team that can overlook anybody, and they won't. It's not in their nature. Now, you don't always play your best. You don't always come out 100% firing on all cylinders every time. But as far as overlook, I think that was taken care of in the preseason for us.